Good evening. As the final days of our high school career have wound down in recent weeks, I've been thinking a lot about what I'm likely to remember about going to Simsbury High School. The fact of the matter is that every time I think about what I might remember, I am rarely able to separate this high school and this town. I've lived in Simsbury my entire life, and I am one of the many students here today who has spent 13 years in the Simsbury Public Schools. We got our start and found our roots at our individual elementary schools, whether we shined at Squadron Line, climbed at Terrafil, grew in the great place of Latimer Lane, attended Lartneck ceremonies at Central School, or played on that awesome wooden train at Tooten Hills that was the envy of every Simsbury elementary schooler's eye. Even though we were at different schools, we were all supported by the town around us. I know that we could not have had the success we experienced in elementary school if we did not have this tight-knit community behind us. Some of us met each other when we played youth sports in town, while others came together at the Simsbury Arts Academy. Our parents chose to raise us in a place that had Stratton Brook Park, Simsbury Farms, and the Hugh Blind Tower, and even more importantly, Little City and J. Foster's. Henry James was a new experience. We came together as a class for the first time and began to create our identity. I'm sure we will always remember our team colors, the rather zany 10-period schedule, and every middle schooler's favorite Friday night destination, Neon Night. As we grew up throughout those first 9 years, we couldn't help but look up to the high school as the ultimate goal, the big leagues, if you will. We watched SHS sports teams gain glory and dreamed to emulate their success. We watched Chicago and West Side Story, hoping eventually that we could travel into the woods of musicals like they did. We attended art shows and saw student work around town, knowing one day that our work would too be applauded by our community. Our goals were centered around this high school, and living up to that legacy was a lot of pressure. Suddenly, in August of 2012, we were called up to the big leagues, and we walked through the doors of Simsbury High School with an overly rosy, slightly annoying administrator asking to take our pictures as we entered the school. I will always remember the stories I heard from my father about what the high school held for us, ranging from the large workload to antics in the cafeteria to our particularly worrisome story about him having to tackle a student at a Simsbury High School hockey game. I was immediately concerned to attend a school where the principal showed so much brutality. However, with our Simsbury moms and dads uniting behind us, we entered the high school and continued our prolific careers. Freshman memories included squeezing into lunch tables on the first day of school, freshman team sports, many bus rides, and the pep rallies. Sophomore year was special for the class of 2016. We had our state-renowned performance of Les Miserables, runs in state tournaments with major contributions from class of 2016 members, and a #1 rating on the state CAP science test, cementing our long-held legacy of being the most intelligent class in the entire state of Connecticut. However, sophomore year was somewhat overshadowed by the rumors of the struggles of junior year. As sophomore, we heard stories of juniors who were developing gray hair and carpal tunnel syndrome due to the intense workload and stress. In all seriousness, junior year was not that bad. It was worse. However, we bore down as a class to take the SATs and the ACTs, then we made sure to go to Brookside after. We completed our AP classes and took our finals, and we looked ahead to our post-secondary options. We did amazing things. Our robotics team went to St. Louis to compete at a national event. Our unified sports team competed all over the state of Connecticut with outstanding support, and we performed incredibly on the SBAC tests at the end of a difficult May 2015. Now we find ourselves on the last day of our senior year of high school, Senior year was everything we expected it to be, and more. We directed 1X, celebrated with teammates at senior nights and banquets, carried on the legacy of the Trojan Wall, and valiantly combated senioritis. And what I can say for sure was a losing effort. In a few moments, we, as a class, will receive our diplomas. And although high school will be over, we will be indebted to this school. We have been lucky enough to go to one of the best high schools in the United States. And this school and this town have prepared us to have incredible success. I will leave you all with this. There is a famous Latin proverb that I believe connects well to our class. It is Turas Aradian, which translates to, let them give light to the world. The phrase means that we have an obligation to take our experiences and bring them to the rest of the world. Simsbury has given us the tools and the skills, not only to create our own personal success, but also to enrich others' lives. For that very reason, we are pretty darn lucky. Thank you.